Well, the International Monetary Fund has painted a bleak future, citing 2023 will be a difficult year for the global economy. In its second regional sub-Saharan report with Bretton Woods institution, says at least 65 countries worldwide will be faced by a severe recession. NTV's Brian George with our detail.
That a third of the countries in the world face an imminent recession come 2023 is a subject of concern for the International Monetary Fund, IMF. This is owed to the pandemic and the aftershocks of the diplomatic tiff between Russia and Ukraine, together with the biting inflation.
Looking at the expenditure.
The report now indicates economic headwinds in the sub-Saharan region, with recovery being abruptly interrupted. Last year, activity finally bounced back, lifting GDP growth in 2021 to 4.7%.
In this difficult international environment, macroeconomic imbalances in the region have been on the rise. Most notably, high inflation has returned for a large number of countries, largely driven by recent increases in global food and energy prices. About 40% of the countries in the region now have double-digit inflation. Adding on to the problem of inflation, fiscal positions have deteriorated significantly over the past few years.
But even with this, the East Africa Community states showed most resilience, though dismally. IMF now projects Kenya's aggregate GDP growth at 5.1% in 2023. The greatest concerns being stabilization of the fuel prices, ensuring food security and countering inflation. Kenya is midway into the 38-month IMF program. However, IMF says various jurisdictions' fiscal structures aren't as strong nor prepared for the recession. IMF recommends that fiscal adjustments need to be established to stabilize debt below 70% of GDP.
Public debt is now around 60% of GDP and is approaching levels last seen in the 2000s, before the impact of the HIPC initiative. The composition of public debt is also changing. If I were to compare the situation in 2000 with today, we see that low-cost, long-term multilateral debt has been replaced with higher-cost private funding.
With this, the global lender now says countries must work to retire debt as cost of borrowing is growing higher, even as central banks globally revise their lending rates. Brian George, NTV.